Greetings and welcome to a Factorio FFF adventure, and we have a cat already here. I don't know if she'll stay, but anyway. We're going to look at the Factorio FFFs 402, which just came out, and probably 400 that came before that, obviously. I'm sorry I haven't gotten these out like on the same day. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff IRL, and it's been a bit kind of crazy. But anyway, let's go and look at our light speed circuits. This is pretty exciting because I'm sure if you followed my series, you'll have noticed that I always put down the power poles along the train lines with all of the circuit conditions. Now, I rarely ever use that. I have used them oh God, it's been for ages since I used them. But the consequences of not having that and just having them included in the blueprint easily, yeah, far outweighs just put in the blueprint because you might need something in the future from them. So now it's so exciting. We get wireless circuits. Isn't this great? I think it's cool. I think this is very, very easy, and the devs certainly made a good decision with this, I think. And then we have the ability to, cut wires and put stuff back together. I know we've all had opportunities where we've been building something and it's like, oh God, I wish this combinator was one tile to the left or whatever. And the previous solution has been to use a mod like Picker Dollies. That's a really great one that does all kinds of stuff. But now all we have to do is cut and paste. As we see in this lovely little GIF file here, we can cut them and then it will remember the wire connections so that you can move it closer. I think that's amazing. I like this functionality. It's pretty great. So now we have light speed is too slow. We need to go at ludicrous speed. Okay, yeah, I'm in agreement. There's no such thing as too fast in Factorio. I kind of wish we had faster belts, faster everything. It's kind of good. It's kind of great. So now we are treated to having the ability to have things really super fast. So the devs have basically changed the code and fiddled around and done some cool stuff, meaning that we get, what do we have here? What is it? 2,500% speed plus 2,500% speed. Look at how crazy this machine is going fast. And I'm wondering, I'm hoping, maybe, I don't know if I'm hoping or not. Loaders have had issues in the past, like they load machines to 100% of capacity instead of just a couple of crafts worth. But if those can get fixed, man, it would be really nice to have that instead of having 4 stack inserters per machine. Are those even new inserters? They might even be. I don't know if they're the new tier. As you can see, we have this tier of belt, which is green. I think it should be a little bit more green. It looks very similar to yellow because when I first saw it, I was like, what color is that belt? It looks very yellow. But obviously it's not yellow because it's holding stacks and stacks of materials, and also those gears, as you've noticed from a previous FFF, can be stacked multiple high. So these are, I forget what they're called. They're like piling inserters or something. I don't know. I don't remember the name. But yeah, I would hope that that green is a little bit more green, maybe more bluish green rather than yellow green, because it is a bit confusing. And I think that especially new players would get confused if they saw this and wanted to recreate it and like, oh my God, I'm having a yellow belt and why isn't it working the way it looks like? So I'm hoping that that can get tuned a bit. But anyway, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that looks really nice. Let's go to the previous FFF, the number 400. This one deals with all kinds of other stuff. I skipped 401 because that has to do with the planets, and I'll do the 2 planetary ones together in the same video. I think that makes a lot of sense. So we have a chart search and pins, the UI search. We can now search the entire map. It's great. So there is a mod that I love called Factory Search, and it is amazing. And I love it. It's one of my favorite mods. So here, is it here? Oh yes, we can play this video here. Basically now we can search the entire map. So watch as they type in stuff, and you see these blocks of buildings that are making these different items, which I think is pretty darn cool. I'm hoping that they'll also add functionality for logistics chests and other things like that. Factory Search, the mod, actually has a really nice interface where you can choose. Is it the product of the machine? Is it a material needed for the craft in the machine? Or is it a storage place? Is it the machine crafting it itself? So for example, like in lasers, you could, if you could search for batteries and you search for machines using batteries as in materials, you'd get all the machines on the map that use batteries, which can tell you where stuff is going to go. So I really like that interface, and I really hope they incorporate that into the search. I think that would be really useful. And then other searchable stuff. We have map tags, which merge into one group when they're on top of assemblers of the same thing. That's cool. Yeah, as we see from this video, actually, there's some merging going on. Like this. This is really cool. It doesn't show you 8 different laser symbols. It just groups them together and puts a big icon. That's very readable. I like it. Train stops, which are forced to be at the end of the list, just as some cases tend to be a lot of them. That's very useful to put train stops at the end of the list. They could consider to add more to the search, but they're not gonna, they decided not to go down that rabbit hole. Sad time. Sad times. Would need making all items in containers searchable. But we have mods for this. I don't understand why this is not a thing, but I hope they add it. I hope they add it. Anyway, there are now pins. You can make pins for stuff, and you have pins now for spiders, which is great. You can pin search results using the pin button, but there's a shortcut as well. Every pin shows you its location on the screen, or when off screen it shows you an arrow. That's very handy. Since we don't expect a crazy amount of pins to exist, we added a list of all your pins right under the minimap, where it can be edited or removed. Pin can be edited to change the caption, where you can decide to not always show the arrow for the pin. Yeah, it's mainly for cases when you use the pin as a long-term bookmark, which is kind of cool. You know, if you have stuff going on elsewhere that you want to remember the location, but you don't really need to know where it is at all times and what direction it is from you. That's very useful. So typical usages of pins: you can temporarily pin something to run there. You can pin something as a reminder what to do next. That's very useful for me, who sometimes I will stop my play session between between recording episodes. So it's like, what was I supposed to do next? And oh, I'm so terrible at using to-do lists. I have it, but man, and also that should be added to the game. Some kind of a to-do list, some kind of a text note system inside the game would be fabulous. You pin your car Spidertron so you can find it. You pin your friends in a multiplayer game. That would be cool. When you die, automatically pins the location of your corpse so you can actually find it. I like this. You can actually find it. We have actually had some improvements to that. Initially, there was nothing. And now we have the sort of locator blinking X thing that you can actually go back into the, if you go look into the console, the log, you can click it to find exactly where your corpse is. So it's multiply useful now, but this is even better to have a pin, and you don't even have to go back into the log. You can just follow the arrow and get back to it. But we have tags and pings. Isn't this too much? It might seem, I think they mean pins. It might seem a little too confusing to have map tags, pings, and also pins. Oh, all of them. But I still believe that all of them should exist at the same time, as they all have their use cases. I agree. We need all of them. Map tags are shared between everyone on the map and are meant as a persistent marker of some position. I use map tags for things like green and red science are made here. This is where purple and yellow science are. So stuff where you tell, even for yourself, but also for in a multiplayer map, okay, we're going to build, maybe we want to build the oil field or oil refinery east of the oil field, and to maybe it's southeast slightly. So you just pin that or tag the area where you want people to build, and also just for identifying stuff, very useful. Pings are a very temporary way to show show a place to someone in a multiplayer game. Yeah, we've used that extensively on our multiplayer servers where it's like, okay, everyone, please go and build smelters over here. And then you ping the location. And of course, as I just mentioned with the corpse, you can check the console log and you can refresh that ping if you need to. Pins are unique for each player, and each player can choose what they find important. I think that's important also to have. Each person has their own stuff, because I think in a multiplayer game especially, people would find one person's stuff too cluttered and another person would be like, oh my god, where is stuff? I need more pins. So having, or I need more whatever tags if you only had tags. So that's a very kind of like a good compromise. I think it's cool to have all three. They each have their function. I agree with that. It's pretty fantastic. Okay, new alerts, GUI. Okay, and now we have, look at this, it's separated by planet, because now we're going to have problems on multiple planets at once, which is okay. It's pretty okay. We can get to this, and it's going to be very useful, especially like if you have biter attacks. You're going to want to know which planet that's on. You know, if you're playing with biters, and other things. You know, missing for construction materials, all this other kind of alerts that you might need to know, things that are getting damaged, things that are destroyed, you need to replace the buildings and that kind of stuff. So that's really useful too. So anyway, I think that's a good place to stop this particular episode of the FFF review. And I'm hoping you're having a great day. Do please say hi to me in the comments. Tell me today, what is your favorite color? I want to know. I'm curious. And what is your favorite part of this FFF? If you want to keep it Factorio related, I'm really excited for you to say. And we're going to have some more of these FFF overviews so that you can get my thoughts on things. And also, if you don't want to read it yourself, I will read it for you. And I will let you know what's going on and all those kind of things. So thank you so very much for joining me. Take care of yourselves and each other. And I'll see you next time.